You know she's getting filled by some black stud. You know there's some black fucking bull that's just filling her with cock meat, giving her the real fuck she deserves. Some big black bull just filling her with cock meat.
We need to talk about parallel universes.
All right, chat. How we doing tonight? How are we doing tonight? I'm doing all right. I don't expect a lot of listeners. It is 2:18 in the a.m. here on the East Coast, which is, of course, the only time zone that matters. All other time zones should just be on the East Coast time. Like, fuck it. Like, I don't care if you got to go to work when it's dark. Eat a dick. East Coast time is, of course, the only time zone that matters, okay? You know? This is just objective fact, all right? I don't make the rules. Anyways, I'm up. I've actually been working on a writing project a little bit tonight. Working real hard. And I'm taking a break. Took a little break earlier. I was on the Dashing Rogue podcast, the Digital Renegade podcast, over on the Dashing Rogue channel. And I was bullshitting. We were shitting on E. Michael Jones a little bit, which I like doing because E. Michael Jones is a piece of shit. He says Mountain Time Master Race. Absolutely not. It's East Coast time or no time. All right? It's the only time zone that matters. All right? Just like America is the only country that matters. These are just objective facts. I don't make the rules. Having a little cherry Coke with some Captain Morgan tonight. Mostly because I gotta get to sleep at a somewhat decent time. Good Lord, man. I've been not working these past couple weeks for a shutdown at work, and you would think my schedule would get back to a bit more normal than my crime-fighting vampire sleep schedule, but it's actually gotten more out of sync with the fucking daywalkers. I went I went to bed early a couple of nights ago, early for me, fucking midnight. And I still ended up sleeping till noon. I can't jerk it to an earlier time, but it's kind of drifting a little later and later. Instead of being up till 3 or 4, normal for me, I'm up till 4 or 5 here recently. 6 even some nights. So I'm going to try and get to sleep before 4. So that's why I can take a break from the writing. I'm going to have a little Captain Morgan. I'm going to bullshit on a live stream to however many people are going to listen to me at 2 in the morning. And try and calm down. And calm down a bit. So I can get to sleep at a decent time. So one more week of my summer vacation. It's not even that fun. It's really not even that fun. I'll get unemployment. I guess I'll be okay. But it's the unemployment might take a while. So I got to watch my money right now. And it's not going to be as much as even a 40-hour week. It's I got to watch it. And then, so I'm not goofing around. You know what I mean? I'm not dicking off. I'm dicking off, but I'm not I'm not having a lot of fun in the ways of spending money, as it were. Working on I got a writing project I'm working on. A little something might end up going to Terror House Press. I've been doing some stuff around the house, but still, it's I'm kind of fucking bored. Not having a job sucks. It's the only thing worse than having a job. If that makes sense. The only thing worse than having a job is not having a job. Neither are particularly good. But it's no wonder, these guys that do the fucking neat lifestyle for a living, the fucking Spoonies and the Arenas and the fucking all the rest of these people, it's no wonder those guys go nuts. They say it would be cool if it was paid time off. Well, I have to use my job, because the shutdown in the summer is always at least a week of it is a foregone conclusion. So when you kind of look at like your vacation time, you think, oh, you got all this extra time, but it turns out a week of that is allocated for the shutdown. So the first week is paid. It is, which is nice. I mean, sometimes I'd rather take it unpaid and let me have those vacation times other days. I mean, part of the great part of vacation time is you get to pick when it is. But it is nice that first week is paid. That they give more vacation than they otherwise would because of that. But this year, because we were so slow, it ended up being 3 weeks for my department, and the other 2 weeks aren't paid. I get the unemployment, but a lot of times there's a shutdown between Christmas and New Year's. Not every year they do that. This past year they did it, which is kind of nice because it's sort of like a Christmas vacation. But that one, there's no like they don't make you save. There's no vacation set aside for that. None of that shit. So that one's just unpaid. I mean, the time off is nice, but it's like I'd rather have that time off spread out over a couple of months. Like 3 weeks in a row, kind of. It's not all that great. And I could use the shekels this week if y'all are so inclined to throw shekels my way. This would be the time. Students' life has to be documented for future generations as a cautionary tale. I mean, all these professional neats, they become narcissists. They become socially isolated. They become, anxiety, depression, all this other shit gets to them because it's just you're not meant to live like this. Like, yeah, time off is great. It's fun. Everybody loves time off. Everybody loves dicking off. But it's fun precisely because it's in contrast to work. You know what I mean? Like icing on a cake is delicious, right? But do you want to sit down and eat a whole, go to the store and buy a tub of icing and sit down and eat it? That sounds... And I mean, we're all adults here. You got your own money. Nobody's stopping you from doing that. I looked into it. There's literally nobody policing this. If you want to, you can go to the grocery store, buy a tub of frosting in the bake aisle, and sit down with a spoon and eat the whole fucking thing. Now, I wouldn't advise it for numerous reasons. But one of those reasons is after about, 4 or 5 bites, it's going to become disgusting. It's not going to be fun anymore. And that's sort of what 3 weeks off in a row is. A bite of frosting is fucking awesome. Like, taking a day off of work is fucking awesome. Hanging 3 weeks in a row, not so much anymore. And like I said, I got stuff to keep me busy, but it's still, it's just... It definitely gives you a taste of why guys like Spoonie are all just go fucking insane. Speaking of people like Spoonie, I hear dear sweet Lindsay Ellis is in the middle of, I don't want to say controversy, more like a crusade. She is she's leading the charge against alt-right figure J.K. Rowling. This is amazing. I haven't paid a lot of attention to this because I don't give much of a shit about Harry Potter. And I truly mean I don't give a shit about Harry Potter. I don't even hate Harry Potter. Because hating Harry Potter would be giving a shit about it. I genuinely don't give a shit about Harry Potter. It's like Star Wars in the sense that I just don't... I think it's monstrously overrated. I get why people like it, but I think it's monstrously overrated. Harry Potter isn't quite shoved down my throat quite as much as Star Wars, so I have a bit of a dislike for Star Wars. More than that, I have a bit of a dislike for Star Wars fans, just because it's so. Before Disney really ran it into the ground, it was just like, Star Wars fans just won't shut the fuck up about it. Not so much now. Disney's kind of killed it. But, like, Harry Potter fans are fucking annoying, too, in all fairness. You know, and it's mostly these fucking leftist millennial SJW types are huge fucking Harry Potter fans for whatever reason. And every political conversation, they want to fucking bring up Harry Potter. And look, everybody uses, like, you know, some sort of pop culture metaphor once in a while when they're talking about politics. But it's like every fucking thing. I mean, that's where the meme, you know, read another book came from and shit. Like, it doesn't have to even be close to applying. And it'd be like, this is just like in Harry Potter. And it's like, shut up. I remember, like, one of those gun control rallies a couple of years ago. All the anti-gun people having their little rally. And there was this picture of this woman holding up a sign. It was, like, a bunch of Harry Potter shit on it. And it's like, I'd rather have a wand than a gun. And it's like, well, shit, bitch. Is that an option? I didn't know magic wand was an option. Because I think I'd probably rather have one than a gun, too. Seems like that's way more fucking powerful. I mean, what would do more damage to somebody? A fucking bullet or shooting a goddamn lightning bolt at them? Probably the lightning. But the thing is, magic wands don't fucking exist. So that's not on the option. Also, if they did exist, your fucking liberal ass would probably be trying to ban them too. And hell, you might have a point on those, depending on just what they can do. I mean, that's probably way more dangerous. The movie Bright on Netflix, they described a magic wand as, quote, a nuclear weapon that can grant wishes. Someone in the chat says, a close family member of mine is a NEET and don't understand why they're depressed and anxious. Yeah, I had a cousin who, like, he had lost a job and he ended up on unemployment for months and months. And then he was just, even when that ran out, he was kind of just sitting on ass. And he was still living with his parents at the time, and he just had obviously fallen into this depression. It took some doing to help work him out of it. But yeah, man, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how you can stand it, especially when you're trying to watch money when you got no money. I mean, I'm not hurting, but I gotta watch it. You know, I can't be just. Yeah, it's not like I'm bored on an afternoon. It's like, I'll go to the comic book store or something. No, I'll just stay home. Anyways, back to old Harry Potter. Not that it's that interesting, but I don't have really strong opinions on Harry Potter one way or another. I don't, you know, there's a lot of people that absolutely despise it. And then obviously there's the rabid fans that think it's the greatest fucking thing in the world. I don't really think either one of those. Now, I never read the books. I was in, like, high school when the first book came out, I think. I remember seeing a bunch of stupid, like, evangelicals, like, bitching about, oh, it's witchcraft. And I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm just happy to see kids reading. But I never read the books. You got to be a little younger than me to have been into the books. A couple years younger than me, I guess. I did see all the movies. Like, I saw all of them in the theater. I liked them. Thought they were fun movies. Had some interesting ideas, interesting, fantasy tropes and set pieces and ideas in them. Characters are largely pretty stock. But it's still an interesting enough world. Not quite fleshed out enough, but it's interesting enough to certainly catch my attention for 90 minutes at a time. The weird thing is, though, I like those movies, but I really don't remember a great deal about them. What were there, like 7 or 8 of them? I feel like those movies could be boiled down into a trilogy easily. Like, there's a lot of shit in those movies that just doesn't matter. I mean, I remember probably at this point, like a year or so ago, you know, I see on TV, like, a Harry Potter thing. Like, one of the movies. And I'm looking at this scene, and I'm like, I don't remember this at all. I don't remember anything about this movie, and I know I saw all of them in the theater. So, you know, I think they're okay movies. They're not great movies. I think they're okay movies. I can't tell you what they are as a book. Point is, though, fucking SJW leftist millennials fucking lived and breathed these damn books. The ones that are like 5 to 10 years younger than me fucking adored these things. And now, because J.K. Rowling has committed the amazing sin of believing that having 2 X chromosomes makes you female, and having an X and a Y chromosome makes you male, otherwise known as basic fucking biology. Now it's time to cancel her. You got like Lindsay Ellis, like, oh, I'm gonna cancel her, and all this other shit. And it's just funny watching these people eat their hero. It's just very, very funny to me. I haven't paid a lot of attention to it, but we might watch a little of Lindsay talk about it here. It's right from the mayor's mouth, as it were. So, I mean, in the chat, what's the longest you've gone without playing video games? I mean, I guess years. From, I mean, probably, like, you could measure it in years. Because around 9, when the, what was the Super Nintendo Genesis generation? What was that? It's 4th generation. Around the end of the 4th generation, I was just starting to come up to being a teenager around that time. And my dad just kind of, he's a boomer. He didn't like video games in the first place. He just sort of decided he wasn't going to buy them for me anymore. So there was no PlayStation 1 or N64 for me at the time. And, I mean, I was a teenager, so you don't have a ton of your own money. And what money I did have generally went towards comics or chasing redhead pussy. And it just wasn't money for video games. I didn't get back into video games really until 2005. So there's about a 10-year gap in my life where I really wasn't into video games almost at all. And that's the year that I bought... my girlfriend at the time bought me a Genesis off of eBay. So I could play Sonic again, and then I got a PS2 that year. I'd play a bunch of superhero games. Now, I did play some video games in that time. Like, I had, like, 97, I got Oddworld and Tomb Raider on the computer, on the PC. Around 2002, right before the Spider-Man movie came out, I picked up that first Activision Spider-Man game, the first 3D one, for the PC, which I guess at that point was like 2 years old. Right out of high school, my roommate, he had a PS2, and I remember playing Final Fantasy Tactics. Got really into that. And I'd play, like, he had, like, one of the wrestling games. I'd play that a little bit with him. Play some Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with him. But then, I mean, good Lord, after that, there might have been, like, a 2-year gap where I don't think I touched a controller. So... like even once. Certainly for longer. Like, I'd be over at a friend's house and, like, I remember when, like, San Andreas came out and, I'd play it for a few minutes. Oh, this is fun. But, like, again, you could probably measure my time in between video games at longest in the course of, like, years. There's about a 10-year period in my life where it just wasn't really much of a thing in my life. It was so... occasionally at a friend's house or something, but I didn't own any. Which, again, I kind of like that. I'm kind of glad it worked out that way. Like, I'm glad I had video games as a kid, but I'm also glad I spent a good portion of my formative years away from that, because some of the guys who got really too sucked into into the gaming hobby, my God, they just got no fucking attention span. Like, just none. Like, Geek Critique's a good example of this. Not a personal friend of mine, obviously, but a channel I like. I mean, you listen to him, critiquing things, and it's a good channel, and he does good videos. But it's very frustrating how he just has no patience. If a game wants him to slow down or backtrack or, take a moment to look around or explore. You know, a lot of gamers just got no fucking attention span. Let's be real. I mean, it's not as bad as the fucking boomers say, but there's something about gaming because it's such a time-consuming and money-consuming hobby where it can very easily become your fucking only interest. You know, where, I mean, you don't do anything other than that. You don't even do other forms of entertainment that much. You know, there's a lot of gamers, they've seen almost no fucking movies, and they're like, you know, they don't have other fucking interests. Oh, that's a bad stereotype. No, it's fucking true. It's not true for, I don't even think the majority, but a sizable fucking plurality of them. It just becomes all the fuck they're about. And like I said, I'm glad I had about a decade of formative years away from the shit. But anyways, let's check in on old Lindsay Ellis. I feel like I've been shitting on right-wingers so much. Part of that's because right-wingers are just generally more interesting. I mean, I don't pay as much attention to the left because it's like... I mean, part of me wants to say, does anybody give a shit what Lindsay Ellis says? But in all fairness, I mean, she's got 975,000 subscribers to her YouTube account. You know, and 1 million views on a fucking video. She's fucking huge, in all fairness. I mean, she's probably bigger than Channel Awesome at this point. You know, all that, like, Channel Not So Awesome and stuff like that with Doug Walker. It's like, you know, the real sin Doug Walker did is he fucking unleashed this monster upon the world. But let's go ahead and see what, Lindsay, I mean, maybe I should have the special guest, you know, bring on a Ouija board. Have the ghost of her aborted son on here. But, I love the jokes people make. That's what broke Spoonie when she killed his baby. All right, so we got old Lindsay here. Now, she did a video on kill the author, like, you know, cancel J.K. Rowling and all that other stuff, and some other people hopped onto that. Riley Dennis threw his Adam's apple into the mix too, I believe. But this is, I guess, a response to, I don't know, the blowback to it or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I ain't been following it too much, but we'll see. We'll see what she has to say.
I guess I'm going to do something kind of uncharacteristic and pop off a hot take without thinking about it for like 6 months. So I've been seeing a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of which are in my mentions.
Already jump cuts. Already fucking jump cuts. Now I realize for me, I'm a retard that doesn't know how to edit videos. But like, you can't just talk for fucking 20 minutes about something you're passionate about. It's your fucking job to talk about things you're passionate about. And you just can't do that for 20 minutes without jump cuts out the ass. We're 13 seconds into it, we got a jump cut. We're 13 fucking seconds into this, we got a jump cut.
Discussing death of the author and asking how we should apply this to our newly out and proud, incredibly transphobic J.K. Rowling. The warning signs were there. You kind of began as like a few months ago when people were noticing that she was liking some really hardcore right-wing turfy tweets. Turf meaning trans-exclusionary radical feminist. Like, I'm not wild about
right-wing. Nothing with radical feminist in the name is right-wing. This is... Good Lord. It's almost comical. It's almost... I feel like even arguing with these people, I'm letting them shift the goalpost to the left. Like, no, you're not a... People with a Y chromosome are dudes. Or males. That's how the fuck it works.
About the term for accuracy reasons, but just so we're clear, it is not a slur. So anyway, she was liking some turfy stuff and then she started retweeting it. What's the step beyond showing your slip? It's like...
It's not a slur. Oh, wait, why? Who says it's not a slur? Because it's a fucking acronym, it's not a slur? It's clearly some unspeakable thing to you.
Her dress got caught in her underwear, like with the most hilarious oops of a tweet that has ever maybe happened with...
What is this tweet? What is this fucking tweet thing? I love this truly fabulous Ichabod with its bad ears, mismatched eyes, and terrifying blood-stained teeth in court. Wolf claimed the Facebook post in which he'd said he'd wanted to fuck up some turfs was just bravado. Oh, God, I don't know what they're talking about.
Someone with more than 1 million followers, and then she just doubled down from there. And so, like, just within the last 24 hours, we have her comparing providing gender services to young people with gay conversion therapy, linking to fringe weirdos and Medium posts like it's like some authority. And as is the case with so many...
We wouldn't want to link to a bunch of fringe weirdos, would we, Lindsay? Like, you're fucking mainstream, Lindsay. I realize that you're corporate. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, corporate America fucking loves you. I get that. And it's propping you up, sweetie. I understand that. And good for you. Nice work if you can get it. But you're not mainstream. Like, these people, they live online, and they think this shit is fucking mainstream. Like, they think fucking Black Lives Matter burning down fucking neighborhood and shooting little black kids because he got caught in a crossfire. They think everybody loves that shit. Like, approval of that shit's mainstream. Because you silenced the fucking majority of people that think that's atrocious. You know, you spend all day on Twitter where they threw off everyone to the right of Karl Marx off that platform. And then you just assume that that's real life and nobody's to the right of Karl Marx. I'm sorry, it's not the real fucking world. Like, and yeah, the real fucking, like, most people don't give a shit about trans. They're like, okay, good for you. You put on a dress, you're a pretty lady now. That's fucking fantastic. But also, most people don't think that it's a crazy fucking fringe idea to imagine that people with a Y chromosome are male. That's how the fuck it works.
Many transphobes, she is arguing against a position that nobody actually has. No one is saying chromosomes are not real, Joanne. Now, if we wanted to get into that is its a whole other thing, but suffice to say that biological sex is, in fact, much more complicated than the simple X and Y chromosome.
Not fucking really. No, it's really not. Yeah, there's a few fucking mutants out there that are born with a dick and a penis. You know. Just like there's fucking snakes born with 2 heads and shit. Like there's, you know. Like, fucking mistakes happen, alright? Mother Nature's a mad fucking scientist. But no, it's pretty fucking basic. It really is. It's easier than we're making it. This idea that there's some sort of biological fucking spectrum of sex. Like, yeah, maybe psychologically with gender you can argue that sort of bullshit. But no, you either have sperm or you have eggs. You can either impregnate or get pregnant. That's... 99.999999999 whole shitload of nines. Let's fill up a page with nines here. Percent of the fucking population, that's the case, okay? You want to point to some fucking genetic monstrosity that got born like I am always picking like amazing freeze frames here too. This is great. And act like this is some sort of common fucking thing because it fits your insane worldview. Somehow I am always accidentally pausing on her mid-blink to make her look drunk. Which, I mean, cool. I hope I keep it up. I'm not doing it on purpose.
Trans YouTuber Riley Dennis did a video on this subject a few years ago, so I'll go ahead and link to that, and I'll let her speak to that issue. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about death of the author.
Riley Dennis is a dude. Like, fucking throw me off YouTube. I don't care. Riley Dennis is a dude. Alright? Riley Dennis has a chin you could have fucking roast on. And an Adam's apple that's about as pronounced as a happy merchant's fucking nose. Riley Dennis is a dude. Like, there's some of these fucking trannies that can pull off a pretty convincing illusion. Like Blair White. Blair White looks like a chick. Now, Blair White doesn't sound like a chick, and Blair White doesn't have chick mannerisms. The moment you see Blair White in motion or hear Blair White's voice, you're like, well, that's a gay dude. Or you just see a picture of Blair White, you'd be like, yeah, that looks like a chick. Unless you really used to seeing these fucking circus acts and you're really good at picking them out, you probably think Blair White's a chick when you see him. Riley Dennis, not so much. Show a bunch of people picture of Riley Dennis, and like 4 out of 5 of them are gonna think it's a dude. Like, the 5th person just gonna be like, what is that, like an ugly chick? Like, Riley Dennis is a dude, alright? And what's more, Riley Dennis ain't fooling anybody. Hell, Riley Dennis has had videos complaining about how, like, oh, nobody wants to date me now that I'm trans. It's like, yes, you turned yourself into an androgynous monster, and now no one wants to fuck you. I mean, a straight man wouldn't want to fuck you because you look like a dude. You look mostly like a dude. But a gay guy, I guess, wouldn't want to fuck you because you don't look entirely like a dude. You managed to hop into some sort of uncanny valley between fucking genders, and now nobody wants to fuck you. By the way, you can really tell Lindsay is a fag hag with the hand thing there. It's not even really something women do a lot, where you hold your hand up like that. That's honestly like a gay dude thing. At least in my experience, that's a gay dude thing. Like, that's that flamboyant gay dude thing. Like, you can tell what a fag hag this chick has been her whole life.
So, death of the author,
I am so getting thrown off YouTube for this one.
The author, a very successful and wealthy author, outs themselves as a bigot. Now, it is entirely possible that...
Again with the jump cuts! Sweetie, again, I'm so good at hitting these fucking pauses here where you look drunk. I get that you really don't have much of a soul, but you have to be able to go 20 butt fucking minutes and just speak from the fucking heart. Just be fucking authentic. Like, can't you fucking do that? It's 17 minutes and 58 seconds. You couldn't give us 17 minutes and 58 fucking seconds of just speaking your mind. We're fucking 2 minutes in, and there's like a dozen fucking jump cuts here. Like that, I want to say that shit makes you look phony and everyone sees through it, but I'm looking at the million fucking views here, and I guess most people don't. Like, what's the other guy? What's the dude that was all like, "What's up, you beautiful bastards?" Ah, man. Philip DeFranco. Fucking Philip DeFranco was just... You ever try to watch one of his videos? Once you notice, like, the jump cuts and shit, like, it's just unreal. I remember watching a cut-up, edited thing of... I think it was, like, Chris Rock, right? It was, like, a stand-up special of his, and he had given it in, like, 3 different... This was on Comedy Central. Years and years and years and fucking years ago, back when Comedy Central was worth watching. And it was showing like this Chris Rock stand-up bit. And aside from the fact that it's on Comedy Central, and it wasn't originally on Comedy Central, so it's fucking, you know, you can't even hear half of it because it's bleeped out every other word. But it was spliced together from 3 different performances where Chris Rock gave basically the same stand-up bit. So every few seconds, he switches to a completely different outfit throughout this, right? And like... as soon as you notice that, and it doesn't take more than a minute or 2 to notice it, it's so fucking jarring, and it feels like you're going insane. It feels like reality is... the fucking space-time continuum is fracturing around you. Because it'll happen, like, mid-fucking sentence. Like, I swear, sometimes it was, like, mid-word. And honestly, that's how I feel when I fucking watch one of these people that's got to jump cut their shit to hell and back.
You do not care, and you genuinely do believe in separating art from the artist. And if that is the case, you fly free, little bird. This video is not for you. Stop watching now. Go enjoy Fantastic Beasts 5 or whatever. But here's the problem with even applying Death of the Author to this discussion, is basically you were trying to find an academic solution for an emotional and ethical problem. As I said on my video on the subject, I personally believe that you can't really practice Death of the Author in its purest.
I know, like, so much of the cringe right, especially the fucking boomer magapeds, beat the word snowflake into the ground, fucking special snowflake triggered and all this other bullshit. But it really is amazing how emotionally fucking fragile they are. She's essentially arguing that she can't enjoy a work of fiction if she doesn't agree with the author. If the author holds views that are contrary to her own, she can't even enjoy their art. And it's not even like I'm somebody who says, oh, you could separate the art from the artist, because you kind of have to do that, because most artists are shitbags. You know, they're all fucked in the head. That's why they don't go get a normal job. But more to the point, I can actually enjoy art, literature, music, movies, shows, books, whatever, where not only does the author have a different viewpoint than me, but the actual narrative, the actual quote-unquote moral of the story, has a different viewpoint than me. I kind of like actually having my worldview fucking challenged by getting perspectives that are completely fucking foreign to my own. I don't mind watching a show where the message of the show is fucking, yay, trans are fucking great. It's fucking annoying and cringe most of the time, the way it's shoehorned in there. But that issue aside, if it's quality storytelling and it's engaging, I might genuinely enjoy it. Even if I disagree with the premise. Maybe it fucking challenges my worldview on the issue and I have to think about stuff. And that's fucking cool. Because I'm an adult who likes having my beliefs challenged. Because that's how you grow as a fucking person. All that said, though, it really is amazing. I mean, this was their hero, like, a year or two ago. like the toppling statues, as it were, never ends with them. It is truly perpetual revolution. Okay? Their worldview truly ends with the last one of them sitting on top of a mountain of skulls. Okay? Social justice never ends until the last human skull is bashed up against a rock for being more privileged than the rock. That's right, chat. Insert Duckman rant about comedy. Demand the right to be offended. To be treated like a fucking adult. Like, first of all, there's nothing in... Okay, granted, I haven't read the books. The movies, at least. There's nothing in Harry Potter that addresses the issue of fucking trans one way or fucking other. But so what if there was? Like, you can't handle a piece of art as a different worldview than you? I love Star Trek, for example. I mean, not so much current Star Trek. I don't acknowledge basically anything past Voyager. But like Star Trek constantly has a bunch of gay fucking pro-commie shit in it and a bunch of fucking humanist fucking fedora shit in it. So what? Oh no, this show took a different position than mine. Oh no. This show challenged my worldview. I better fucking hide and cancel the creator. I know I don't have that fucking response because I'm an adult. And even when it takes a position I don't agree with, I kind of like the fact that it got me thinking. That's kind of nice. Somebody in the chat says, you're just mad, back off, because you're not spanking Ellis in your dungeon. I mean, maybe like 5 years ago. Like, yeah, 5 years ago, she was pretty fuckable. Nowadays, it's not even that she looks bad. It's just, people in the chat are nailing it. It's like fucking Karen eyes. Like, just... Like... It's just like a dead look in her eyes. Dead eyes, like a doll's eyes.
Pure form. If for no other reason than...
God, the jump cuts! Oh my god! It's like somebody needs to, like, do a jump cut count of this video. I would love to know the actual number. It's 17 minutes, 58 seconds. Okay, so it's 18 minutes, basically. There's way more than 18 fucking jump cuts in this. She can't go a minute! Like, she can't just speak for a fucking minute. Eldritch fan sends $5 via YouTube Super Chat, which I may or may not never see, because watch me get showed for this fucking video. But thank you very much for the Super Chat, nonetheless. And says, poor Rowling. She learned too late. You can't sell just part of your soul and keep the rest. You got to sell it all. But she chose her audience. I'm not even 100% sure why fucking leftists in particular latched onto that. I don't know. Maybe I'd have to take a deeper dive into the fucking books to understand that. Which I'm never going to do because they're not that good. And I don't care that much. Again, like, I don't hate Harry Potter. They were good popcorn flicks. But I never got the fucking obsession with it. And I don't know. Maybe there's way more depth in the books. Like, maybe the movie... Because all I have to go off of is movies. And maybe they are a genuinely poor reflection of the... Maybe they're a shadow of the source material. Like, I say that as a comic book fan. Like, the best Marvel or DC movies are a pale shadow of the source material. The source material is so much more in depth. So much more interesting. So maybe that's true of the books. I don't fucking know. But given the audience of them, I'm not inclined to pick up a fucking one of them, you know? Every 3 seconds is a jump cut with this woman.
If you are in any kind of like discourse setting, be it academic or Twitter, other people aren't going to really allow it. They will bring the author into it, and that is going to introduce subconscious biases, which is of course going to affect your reading of the text, no matter how hard you try to be unbiased or whatever. So you can try to practice.
Another fucking jump cut there. Oh my god. You're talking about Harry Potter. I mean, is there that many fucking layers to it to get into? Again, I don't know. I haven't read the source material. Maybe there is, but I fucking doubt it. From what I understand, the movies are a pretty faithful representation of the source material. And they made for good fucking popcorn flicks. Most of which are forgettable, but there's a few really interesting set pieces and ideas and shit like that in there. You know, there's a few moments in there. Like I said, you could basically boil those 8 or 9. How many is it? Is it 7, 8, 9? I can't even fucking remember. But you could boil all those movies down into a trilogy and really not lose anything of fucking importance there.
Death of the author. But as long as you're engaged in a community, other people are probably going to bring the author in whether you want them to or not. So I think that part of the reason why there are a lot of really confused emotions about J.K. Rowling going hard turf is because so many people have an attachment to Harry Potter. It was...
This woman can barely say a sentence without having to edit a jump cut in there. Like, it's a good thing she's at the fucking level of having, like, 1 million fucking views per video, where you can make at least, I guess, $5 off of advertisement money on a fucking video. And no doubt she's getting all sorts of shady fucking corporate money, no doubt. She's propped up at this point. She's, and Patreon and shit like that. But, like, if she had to, like, do live streams and rely on fucking super chats, even with the fucking audience she'd fucking flounder. Like, this woman can't speak for, like, for a minute without feeling she has to chop shit up and edit it. Just be authentic. Like, yeah, there's little patches of dead air or something. Yeah, there's little patches of ums and likes and whatever. You stumble over your words, you make an ass of yourself. But just be fucking authentic. And again, I want to say, like, more people... Maybe I'm the asshole here, because I want to say more people like that. But maybe I'm just projecting. Because obviously a fucking million people are eating this dribble up. And idiots like Philip DeFranco, fucking, you know, people eat that shit up. When it's jump cuts every 3 fucking seconds. I can't stand it, man. I don't know how anyone stands it. Like, it's so phony. Like, just sit in front of a fucking mic and speak your fucking mind. Oh, I might stumble over my words a little bit. So who fucking cares? I don't know, Chad. Maybe that's just me. But that's why the fuck I tune into YouTube, alright? Somebody in the chat. She's measuring every single word. She isn't offering a natural opinion. She's afraid of being judged like JK. Another person to scapegoat in fear. Well, I guess that's another part. I mean, if you're on this fucking side of it, I mean, they are fucking eating each other. You know, when I used to watch movies like, you know, Dawn of the Dead or zombie movies like that, you know, I'd often look at it and I'd wonder, what stops the zombies from eating each other? Like, wouldn't they just try to eat each other? And it turns out in real life, the answer is nothing. Turns out in real life, the zombies do eat each other. She kind of looks like that meme of, like the Toy Story meme, where it's like, you know, blank everywhere, you know, that meme. Yeah, she's not even really saying anything. She said, like, J.K. Rowling's bad. And, you know, if you can enjoy Harry Potter even though she's bad. But, and then she rambles on about, like, death of the author and shit. She said, in 3 minutes here, she said maybe 3 seconds worth of fucking thought. And used like 400 fucking jump cuts.
A part of their childhood, it was a part of their adolescence. It is deeply, deeply important to some people. Maybe like 10 or 20 years ago, I would have been like smug about this. But I...
As opposed to? Again, I am nailing it with the fucking freeze frames here, and I'm not even trying to do that. God, Doug, what have you done? What did you unleash upon the world?
Feel for the Harry Potter fans of the world. Harry Potter, like, I didn't hate it, but like Harry Potter was never my thing. Obviously, I never talk about it on this channel. You know, like, I read the books. I even gave it a shout out in my book, which I'm kind of regretting now. Oops. I just needed a book that came out in 2007. But Harry Potter was blowing up around the same times that Lord of the Rings was having its resurgence in popularity. And the relationship of the author to that text is a completely different discussion, and one we are not going to have here. Tolkien has been dead for 50 years. He's not on Twitter. But J.K. Rowling is not only alive, she's also relatively young and has tremendous power and influence and a lot of followers and a lot of money and a lot of control of her intellectual property. And I've seen...
Good God, we went like 20 seconds without a jump cut there. I'm impressed. I know I keep harping on that, but it's just so telling to me. You just feel so fucking phony when you do that. Especially in a video like this where you're supposed to be pouring your heart and your soul and your mind out about some issue. This isn't like she's fucking talking about Rocket Knight on the Sega Genesis or something and she's trying to keep it engaging and shit, so she just jump cuts the fuck out of it. Alright, this isn't a review of some shitty video game or something like that. Like, this is her pouring her she even said, like, I'm doing a hot take without thinking about it for 6 months. Okay, that's great. You're just gonna give us your raw thoughts. Alright, let's hear it. And jump cut, 3 seconds go by, jump cut, 3 seconds go by, jump cut. Like, holy fuck. Was this like a 3-hour fucking video that you... Like, how long was this before you fucking edited it? I could... Like, a couple of jump cuts I could forgive in there. Like, you gotta, like stop for a minute and, like, catch your breath and get a drink and, you know, get your thoughts together a little bit more. You know, let your fucking brain catch up to your mouth. I get that, okay? You know, and you want to keep things concise, so you know, like... A 17-minute video, I could forgive, like, 4 fucking jump cuts in there. Okay? But we got to, like, 4 fucking jump cuts before we were at 2 minutes. We were well past 4. Somebody says, there's some legitimacy to death of the author theory, but like everything else, hardcore leftists take it to ridiculous lengths. A lot of people have pointed out the unconscious influences on Tolkien with Lord of the Rings. And look, there's nothing wrong with discussing what was an author's viewpoint and his background and how did this affect his work. That's fucking fine. All right. Again, I'm not sure how relevant that is with J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter because I don't believe there's anything regarding the fucking trans issue in the Harry Potter books. But you want to talk about, like, Tolkien's views on race and how that affected how he structured the races in Lord of the Rings and whether or not you agree with that position or not. And that's fucking fine. But here's my point. even if you don't agree with it, you can still enjoy the fucking book. You don't have to say, well, he disagreed with me, but I still like this work because that's not in this work. That could be in this work, and you could still fucking enjoy it. Again, lots of shit I fucking enjoy. Lots of shit that was important. I'll go back to Star Trek. Star Trek is something that was an important part of my childhood. All right? My boomer dad grew up with the original series. And in the late 80s, early 90s, Saturday nights, would sit and I'd watch a rerun of the original series and the new episode of TNG with my fucking dad. And it was great. It's one of those great fucking bonding memories I have, you know, because I was a fucking nerd kid and he was a fucking, you know, Navy man mechanic, so he wasn't into a lot of nerd shit. So it really was special with me when there was some nerd shit that he really, really liked. He wasn't just watching it because he wanted to spend time with his son or something. He was super into it too. That meant a lot to me. And what's more, Star Trek is one of those things that legitimately, if I had to name like the top 10 fictional things that shaped my fucking imagination, Star Trek would easily be on that list. But again, there's a lot of shit in Star Trek, like the views expressed in it, not of the author, the creator, or the writers, or the fucking directors, or the actors. Not just the views of them, but the actual views expressed within episodes of those shows that I would vehemently fucking disagree with. That even as a kid, I didn't agree with a lot of it. I never really bought the idea that Data didn't have emotions. That always struck me that always rang untrue to me. Like, of course he has emotions. He wants things. There are things he wants. He doesn't necessarily have emotions on the same level we do, but he wants things. That's emotion. You know? Anyways, point is, there were times Star Trek came from worldviews or positions that I vehemently disagreed with. And I've moved even further away from their positions on a number of things. I can still fire up Netflix and watch fucking Star Trek. I still like it. Nothing after Voyager. I don't acknowledge nothing after Voyager. But those first 4 shows and those first 10 movies, not all of it good by any stretch, and a lot of it I disagree with, but I can still enjoy it. And in some regard, I liked the fact that it challenges me. I like when it's disagreeing with me. Because then I got to think about shit. So that's what really strikes me. Again, you want to like, oh, we're going to analyze this work in relation to the other. That's fine. Fucking do that. Fine. But what is telling is that these people are like, I can't enjoy this work because not even the work, but the author disagrees with me. That's fucking pathetic. Like, that's fucking pathetic.
A lot of takes, and I don't really want to address them all, but basically you can try to be rational about the whole thing and be like, don't support her financially, but the reality is it's a lot more complicated than that. So while on some level there is a sort of, again,
a jump cut, don't support her financially. The bitch doesn't ever, unless all that money's been going up her nose, that bitch doesn't need another cent for the rest of her life. All right, so I'm not going to support her financially. Oh, I'm sure she's very upset about that. Another jump cut. Good God.
Broader political discussion on how she wields her influence. Really, when people want to talk about death of the author, in this instance, they want to reconcile their personal feelings about Harry Potter with the author. Like, how do I reconcile the fact that the author of this series is using her power to do such incredible harm, all while genuinely believing that she is doing the right thing, with the fact that the series was so formative?
Another jump cut. It's almost more interesting to count the fucking jump cuts here, because she's not saying anything anymore. Like, Oh, man. 5 minutes in, you're not saying a fucking thing. So careful. So safe. She's doing such genuine harm. Oh, man. The trans movement is really the worst fucking part of the liberalism. It really is just the death of fucking reality. It really is just making you say there are 5 lights when there's 4. Let's go back to a Star Trek fucking reference, although that actually referenced a fucking other things, but popular culture, it's generally a Star Trek reference. But yeah, there are 4 lights. All right, I'm not going to sit here and call Riley Dennis a chick. Riley Dennis is not a she. Riley Dennis is a dude. A very unattractive dude at that. But a dude.
For so many people. How do you reconcile this? The answer to that is, I don't know. But I have kind of touched on this subject before a long time ago, and I think you can find it on my other channel. I did a video that kind of touched on a similar topic about Orson Scott Card, who is the author of Ender's Game. And it wasn't my, like, Harry Potter or anything, because I was...
Another jump cut. I actually remember that video. Orson Scott Card, again, I can't remember what it was, but he expressed some mildly not social justice viewpoint that everybody wanted to cancel him. And she was talking about Ender's Game. And she called it, she sort of said it was sort of like Chick-fil-A, where she's like, she hates Chick-fil-A's policies, but, oh man, their sandwich is just so good, so she eats there anyways. And she says, Ender's Game is like that. I hate Orson Scott Card, because I don't even remember what the fuck he said that pissed him off so much. Something innocuous, no fucking doubt. But... she was just like, oh, but Ender's Game is just so good. Eldritch fan says, don't give money to people who hate you. It's fast becoming a catchphrase among right-wing sci-fi and fantasy fans. It's not even about hurting the creators, it's maintaining your self-respect. I mean, at a certain point, you got to do that. I don't know where that line is for you. I mean, they all fucking hate you. Like, everybody you're gonna give money to fucking hates you at this point. Like, everybody in charge fucking hates you. I don't know what to tell you. The entire corporate structure, the entire entertainment business. I don't... At a certain point, if you really want to keep entirely true to that, you gotta go fucking live in the woods and hunt squirrels and go completely off the fucking grid. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, you gotta fucking, hunt whatever you can in the woods to live and be in a cabin and go completely off the grid. Otherwise, you give money to people that hate you. I don't know what to tell you. The entire fucking elite structure hates you. The entire entertainment industry hates you. And that's if you just have the most common sense of fucking views. I mean, I don't know where the line is for you. I just generally... I'll watch shit that's good. That's where I am. I'll watch shit that's good. I'll read shit that's good. Like, if there's Marvel comics being made, and there are some that are fucking good, and not full of fucking pause and soy and other garbage, I'll, not obnoxious about shit, I just read it. Yeah, it's like, fine, whatever. And the ones that aren't, I'm not gonna fucking read them. I'm gonna let those flop. I went to go see all the fucking MCU movies in the theaters. Well, I didn't see Ant-Man 2. I didn't get around to it. I did finally see it. And I didn't see Black Panther 2. Or I didn't see Black Panther. I wasn't at Black Panther 2 yet. Because everybody told me I was a racist if I didn't go see it. And I don't respond well to blackmail. I didn't go see fucking Captain Marvel because it looked like shit. But I saw the other ones. And it's like, I know all the actors in there are pieces of shit. I know Disney is a fucking garbage company. Like, I know all that, but it's like, at a certain point, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? If you're going to follow that to its logical conclusion, you're just going to live in the fucking woods and go off the grid. And I'm just not going to do that. Life's too fucking short, man. Yeah. I'm not going to turn into fucking Owen Benjamin, like screaming about fucking, you know, I'm going to scamming bears to fund my fucking thing. Don't jack off in my woods. I'm not going to do that. Somebody says this is all about her showing off her virtue as we admire her intellectual prowess. Well, that's been her entire fucking career. And God bless her, it's worked for her. Like, I don't tell her. I mean, 1 million views. It's 1 view per jump cut in this fucking video.
Older when I read it, but it was extremely, well, formative for me, especially as a professional author. In particular, the sequel to Ender's Game, Speaker for the Dead, was extremely influential.
A professional author? What the fuck is this bitch written? I gotta know. What the fuck is this bitch written? Okay, well, you know what? We'll go right to Amazon. And we'll look up Lindsay Ellis as an author. Because as far as I know, she's some twat that rambles on YouTube. But Lindsay Ellis in books. Let's see what we got here. Right to her page. I love this pretentious ass fucking photo right here. But she's written 1 book, Axiom's End. Congratulations, you are every bit the fucking author that Davis Arini is. That's fantastic. I wonder what your book is fan fiction of. Let's see. Only on Kindle. You didn't even put out. This alternate history first contact adventure, Axiom's End, is an extraordinary debut from Hugo finalist and video essayist. Video essayist is the most fucking pretentious way you could possibly say YouTuber. Truth is a human right. Oh, come on, I want to hear the fucking pitch. Where's the? There we go. Truth is a human right. It's fall 2007. A well-timed leak has revealed that the U.S. government might have engaged in first contact. Corbo Sabino is doing everything she can to avoid the whole mess, since the force driving the controversy is her whistleblower father. Oh, got some daddy issues in there, don't we? Even though Cora hasn't spoken to him in years, we got daddy issues. We got the feminist authors writing about daddy issues. I bet the whole fucking book is about daddy issues. His celebrity has caught the attention of the press, the internet, the paparazzi, and the government. And with him in hiding, that attention is on her. She neither knows nor cares whether her father's leaks are a hoax and wants nothing to do with them. Of fucking course she doesn't. The bitch wrote Daddy Issues, the book. Until she learns just how deeply entrenched her family is in the cover-up, and that an extraterrestrial presence has been on Earth for decades. Realizing the extent to which both... Sorry, folks, a little captain here. To which both she and the public have been lied to. She sets out to gather as much information as she can. And she finds that the best way for her to uncover the truth is not as a whistleblower, but as an intermediary. The alien presence has been completely uncommunicative until she convinces one of them that she can act as their interpreter, becoming the first and only human vessel of communication. They just been hiding out on Earth, but they ain't talked to nobody. Where the fuck are they hiding? The otherworldly connection will change everything she thought she knew about being human, and could unleash a force more sinister than she ever imagined. God, it's fucking Contact. It's fucking Daddy Issues, the book. $14.99 for an ebook. $25.19 for the hardcover. I guess that's not bad for a hardcover, but who fucking buys a hardcover if you can help it? Fucking, if I was king, there would be no fucking hardcovers, alright? Like, hardcovers can come out after the fact when a book is a classic and somebody wants a hardcover for their shelves. But I hate this shit where, like, a hardcover comes out first and you gotta wait a while for the paperback. That's like, yeah, if you want to buy it when it first comes out, it's gonna be like $10 extra. Suck a dick. Fuck hardcovers. That's it. That's a different rant. Bitch wrote Daddy Issues, the book. That's fucking fantastic. Oh. So he says, the difference is I actually enjoyed Irini's book, but I never played the Fallout game, so I didn't see how it was a knockoff. I'll be honest with you. I kind of felt bad, so I never said it at the time, because he was my friend. But I never finished it. It's fucking boring. It's fucking boring. Oh. I remember one time he was like asking me about it, and I had it for like a year at that point or something, and I was like I hadn't finished it yet, and I was like being real nice. I was making an excuse like, yeah, man, I'm sorry, I got caught up in work, and then it's like, it ended up at the bottom of a reading pile, but I'm gonna get back to it, and I never got back to it. It wasn't good. It wasn't. I didn't like it. Adventures of Karen. That's right, chat. God, a bitch wrote fucking Daddy Issues, the book. Well, okay, look, we can't, like she said, you can't separate the art from the author. So we have to read this fucking First Contact book in the premise of the fact that Lindsay Ellis, like every fucking feminist, has a whole bunch of daddy issues. I mean, we gotta take that into account when we read this book. Now, I'm not gonna actually read that book, because why the fuck would I do that? But if you're so inclined, every fucking freeze frame, she just looks like a fucking either a drunk or a Karen.
If you're familiar with it, you'll be like, I can see that. Like, even the title of the Axioms End sequel, which is called Truth of the Divine, is kind of it takes some inspiration from Speaker for the Dead. So I remember a long time ago people would talk about Orson.
So she ripped off Orson Scott Card, I guess. So her books are Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game series, but with daddy issues.
Scott Card on Twitter, and
I don't know. I never read Ender's Game. I couldn't tell you. But apparently she took a lot of inspiration. She was like, we should take the Orson Scott Card books, but they need more fucking daddy issues. And I'm sure a lot of gay shit. I'm sure there's a lot of fucking paws in there. I'm sure there's some dudes sucking each other's dicks somewhere in the book. I'm sure if not, she's a fucking homophobe, really. I mean, if she didn't put that in the book, really, she should be ashamed of herself. I mean, the dudes sucking each other's dicks in that book, Lindsay? At what point does a dude push another dude's shit in your book? That's the question I have. And if it's not in there, then why do you hate gay people?
First, I kind of was inclined to disbelieve them, mostly because I couldn't really reconcile the fact that the same person who wrote this work, which is fundamentally about the importance of understanding someone or something that is very different from you, with this incredible homophobic bigot. And it's not that this guy just has some bad Twitter opinions. He openly advocates against gay and trans people, and he uses his not inconsiderable wealth to do so. And unlike Joanne, he, for the most part, has the good sense to keep his bullshit.
Like 47 fucking jump cuts there. But oh no, he doesn't. You know, you mean his deeply religious? Isn't he like a Mormon? You mean his deeply religious man isn't keen on the fucking on the fucking gays? I'm shocked. This book is about understanding things that are different than you. Maybe you should try to understand that, like, most religious people don't fucking approve of homosexuality, Lindsay. Like, you understand that? You understand that, like, the 5 major fucking world religions, 3 of them outright condemn homosexuality, and the other 2 are none too fucking fond of it? Like, is that maybe a thing? I know it's different than you, Lindsay, but even though it's different than you, is it maybe something you can understand?
Off Twitter, but he is still mostly on his bullshit and was on Ben Shapiro's channel as recently as 2 months ago. Orson Scott Card.
Okay, all right. I think we can cancel him for that. Just because fuck Ben Shapiro. Like, if there's one thing all 4 squares of the political compass can agree on, it's fuck Ben Shapiro. There's only like some boomers in the middle that fucking defend that guy.
Is still alive, and there is a difference between a dead author that maybe has a checkered past and a living one who is using their not inconsiderable wealth and power to advocate against marginalized groups. And this is one of the most insidious.
That was like 30 seconds without a jump cut. I'm genuinely impressed. You might be able to go a whole minute if you really practice. She's a video essayist, guys. I'll have you know, this author is also a video essayist. And Ender's Game has brothers issues, apparently, according to the chat. Okay. I don't really know anything about Ender's Game. I couldn't tell you. The only reason I was aware of the Orson Scott Card controversy at the time was he was going to write a fucking story, and at the time, the Adventures of Superman at DC was like an anthology comic. Like, each issue had like 2, maybe 3 stories by random authors. A lot of them weren't even in like mainstream continuity. They were just standalone fucking stories by authors that generally don't write comic books. And they were going to have Orson Scott Card do one of them. And, you know, then everybody canceled him. And this was like 2013 or some shit like that. And like, no, we can't do that because he doesn't like butt sex. And it's like, okay, cool. Because, you know, you can't have a story by an author you don't like because that would just, I don't know, hurt you somehow because you're a child. Because you're a fucking... like how really fucking strong are your convictions that like they can't take a little weathering. Every fucking freeze frame has just not been flattering. Like, okay, a couple of them have been fine, but like 9 out of 10 of them, and I've paused a lot, have not been fucking flattering.
Aspects of J.K. Rowling doing what she's doing. She knows that because of her wealth and influence, she's going to be believed more than, you know, the lived experience of trans people and decades of medical research. And
another jump cut. Decades and decades of medical research, such as the fact that trans people kill themselves at shockingly high rates. Well, that's because of transphobia. See, they kill themselves because nobody likes them because everybody's transphobic. Well, okay, society has become far more accepting of trans people, so surely the suicide rates have gone down, right? Right? Am I right there? No, they actually haven't. In fact, some numbers suggesting they've gone up. But let's set that aside. Let's just say they stayed the same. Well, why didn't they go down when they got more acceptance? If lack of acceptance is why they kept, you know, why kept joining the fucking 41%. Maybe it's because they're deeply fucking ill individuals. And, like, I'll be honest with you. I will grant that it is a genuine mental illness. Gender dysphoria is a genuine mental illness, okay? Where I'm going to disagree with you is the idea, with people like her, I should say. I don't think the solution here is that we're going to chemically and surgically mutilate your fucking body until it kind of sort of resembles your fucking delusion. Usually not even, but, kind of sort of if you squint your eyes, you look like the thing you think you are. That's not the fucking solution. The solution is let's get your fucking diseased mind in line with reality. Again, if I seriously said I identify as a Bulbasaur, like, does that mean some doctor should sew a fucking head of lettuce to my back? Remember the South Park episode? They probably don't even air it anymore because it's probably now verboten. You probably can't find it on the streaming sites. But where they make fun of the trans shit, where Kyle wanted to be like Kyle's like, I'm a small Jewish boy, but I identify as a black man. So the doctor's like, we'll give you a negroplasty. We'll make you taller and make your skin darker. And then they turn Kyle's father into a dolphin because he identified as a dolphin. It's like, we'll surgically mutilate you until you kind of resemble a dolphin. What the fuck's the difference? Like, you're not this gender you think you are, okay? X and Y chromosome, you're a dude, alright? Cutting your dick off, turning it inside out, and giving you hormones so that you fucking grow hairy breasts, turning you into some sort of abomination that spits in God's eye, it's not helping you. And the amount of times these people go through these fucking surgeries and they turn into like monsters and they fucking regret it, and just the medical community just leaves them out to dry. When you see the stories, like you see, like there was like the one where the person was they got their new vagina, and their new vagina constantly fucking stunk like death because it's an open wound. And the doctor's just like, yeah, it'll do that. Or one of them was like getting their tits in, and their tits were like super fucking hairy. Their tits, quote, giant fucking air quotes. And the doctor's like, yeah, you need LASIK surgery for that. It's going to cost you. And doctors don't care. They got their fucking money. These fucking butchers don't care. They promise you they're going to wave their magic wand and turn you into a pretty girl. And they turn you into some fucking hideous monster. And they're like, no refunds. And then your life's fucking ruined and you go kill yourself. It's kind of fucking tragic. You had this mental illness and everyone told you to further exacerbate your mental illness and fucking surgically and chemically mutilate your body. So and again, 9 times out of 10, it ain't fucking good results when they do that. Okay, again, somebody like Blair White's pretty fucking passable. That dude won the fucking Russian roulette, didn't he? But for every Blair White, there's a fucking dozen Brianna Woos that look like a goddamn train wreck. But no, it's more loving to indulge them in the bullshit. So they completely ruin their lives beyond repair, and then they kill themselves. That's more fucking loving. And I'm going to get thrown off YouTube probably for saying otherwise.
I know there are a lot of people who are perfectly willing to compartmentalize. And again, I see separate art from the artist constantly. And you know what? That's fine. That, you do you. Again, this discussion is not for you. This is for the people who are trying to figure out how to reconcile having Harry Potter in their past and in their lives with the way she is wielding her power. And sort of the way that Orson's...
Again, you could be a fucking adult and realize other people don't see the world as you do. I don't know why that's hard for you. And don't get me wrong, that's not even just a left-wing thing. I'm going to be fair here for a moment. Too many fucking right-wingers are the same way. The evangelicals are fucking notorious for this. They can't handle the slightest bit of fucking challenge to their views in any piece of media they consume. Any piece of art they consume. They can't fucking take it for shit. You know, there's a reason. I know it's become like trite now because really these social justice warriors, like owning the libs has become so cliche. I almost hate doing this, but you know, a few years ago, like people started calling them like Jim Goad was calling them the new church ladies. Before I ever heard that, when I was first exposed to these SJWs around like 2013 or so, like I had a thing on my blog where I called them like left-wing moral majority. Because how else do you... They act like evangelicals in this regard. They act like the fucking Jerry Falwells of the 90s just for their bullshit secular religion about butt sex.
Got Cards Open bigotry has influenced the way that I read the Ender series. I think people kind of know that knowing this about the author is going to affect how they read and engage with the Harry Potter series. And if it was formative for them, if it was a big part of their childhood or adolescence, or even if it is still a big part of your life, that is going to influence the way you remember it or the way you experience it. And while you can...
Like 20, 30 seconds at most, you can go without a jump cut. And again, I know I'm harping on that a lot, but it's just astounding to me. Like, it's a video essayist. She can't talk for 10 fucking seconds without like, oh, I gotta edit the dead time out. It's so fucking fake. It's so ungodly fake. How does anybody listen to this shit? Eldritch fan sends another $2 super chats that I may or may not ever see. I'll miss you when you get canceled off YouTube. Thank you very much for that. I don't know. Maybe y'all should just get me right over the fucking line tonight because it'll be the last time. I mean, I kind of prefer the Streamlabs, but I understand that's an extra click and nobody wants to do that. And I ain't even throwing stones. I don't do it either. Like, somebody says, will your friend Landshark cover up for you post-cancellation? I don't know. Maybe. Like, even right now, I should be writing. Like, I got a fucking writing project, you know, to do. I don't know. Should be doing that instead of bullshitting. Like, I don't know. Like, part of me, I'm like, should we even be talking about this? Like, J.K. Rowling's a fucking disgusting shitlib. So, like, I'm not gonna shed tears over the fact that other shitlibs are eating her. That's fucking funny, if anything. I love the fact that the monster these people have fucking made. Somebody's Elders fan says, sorry. I don't, dude, I'm not picking on you. Don't worry about it. Like, I'm not blaming you. Like, I'm not going to throw stones. Trust me. Whenever somebody has the Streamlabs and the YouTube Super Chat set up, I fucking send the YouTube Super Chats too, because it's easier. It's fucking easier than using the Streamlabs. Like, the Streamlabs opens a whole nother fucking window, and I'm not even throwing stones at you. I know why you did it. Everybody does it that way. Like, most people send YouTube Super Chats and they don't send Streamlabs. You know, Streamlabs is better for the creator. But people use the YouTube Super Chats because it's more convenient. And I get that. I mean, I do it too. You know, I'm not going to sit here and yell at you because you didn't... I'm not Owen Benjamin, okay? I'm not going to sit here and yell at you because you gave me money, but not in the exact way I want it. Like, that's what a sociopath does. You know what I mean? And I don't really think I'm going to get showed. I mean, I might get showed. We might get showed. Any of us might get showed any time. But nobody gives a shit about me. So that's kind of what keeps me from getting showed. Like, I get, like, random, like, not even strikes, but I get, like, random fucking, stuff like yanked down over copyright or like community guideline shit, and it's always like unlisted shit from years ago that some robot picked up, some bot fucking picked up. I don't know how it works. But no, don't worry about it. I ain't yelling at you. I ain't trying to be Owen Benjamin, alright? Well, shit. It's almost 4. I should go to bed here soon. Oh, yeah, I'm not going to get through the rest of the Lindsay Ellis 17-minute video of saying fucking nothing. Her amazing book on daddy issues in space. I mean, I get it, Lindsay. You got daddy. Daddy didn't love you. I get it. You know, that's why you hate men. You know, I got mommy issues out the ass. That's why I have taste for a certain, shall we say, assertive woman. But, you know, I didn't base my fucking worldview on that. You gotta get over that shit at some point, you know? I'm gonna tell you. Oh, man. I tell you, just a little bit of Captain and I get sleepy as fuck. Alright. So, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this up then, folks. You know, if you enjoy the content I put out, you consider supporting the show. We get the paypal.me/thebekloff and Streamlabs/thebekloff, where you can send a super chat even if I'm not live. You can send a super chat and I will see it when I am live. It's fucking amazing. I will see it and read it when I am live. So, you know, ain't that grand. And, what the fuck else was I going to say? I don't know. It's late.